What's the difference between RAM and secondary storage? Well, you may have heard how the price of RAM is being driven up by AI, but what is it? RAM stands for Random Access Memory, but if you're most people, that probably doesn't mean much to you, so let's work with an analogy. Imagine a desk. The desktop is your RAM. The drawers of the desk are your secondary storage. Now imagine a person sitting at that desk. This person represents your CPU, or Central Processing Unit. You can think of your CPU as the brain of your computer. On top of the desk, there are objects. These objects represent programs actively running on your computer, such as apps or websites. Now let's think about what happens when you try to extend the RAM and secondary storage of this desk. Let's start with secondary storage. If we extend the amount of drawers this desk has, the CPU can now access those things inside those drawers, but only after taking them out. Notice that the amount of tasks actively stored and accessible by the CPU have not changed. Now let's think what happens when we try to increase the RAM of this desk. When we increase the RAM of the desk, aka the surface area of the top, we see that the CPU can now access many more tasks if it wanted to by putting them on that surface as well. Because the surface is bigger, the CPU can put more tasks on top of that surface, and therefore can access them much faster than if they were inside the drawers. So even if your computer can store large files or programs, if it doesn't have enough RAM, it's going to be useless in running them. Which is why it's important you know the answer to the question.